It says we're streaming. I'm going to go make sure. Seems too good to be true.
Facebook Live.
Facebook, hi. It's me, Linda Marcus Smith, who does Comic Spot comedy interviews. I'm a military veteran, and I have two military people here who are also veterans of the military. And we started something. Liz Fresius up there in the top square, she and I started this to do comedy for military and veterans and their families, caregivers, workers, for veterans, you name it. This is a military show by military people from the comfort of our living room with pants on, we think. So thanks for coming on. So I want to warm you up. If you're coming in, I know you think you know how to listen and laugh, but let's go over this. So you have a hand and another hand. The two hands have to come together to make an audible sound so we know we're funny. So let's try it, you guys. Ready? Hey, thanks for coming in. I have no idea where you're watching this from. Maybe you're at a military company or organization, or you're sitting at home healing from some wound, or you're just a military veteran that isn't injured and you need to laugh, or you're thinking about doing comedy. That's what we're here for. It's a venue for you in your living room. Yeah, and you save on some clothes too, I heard. I don't know, allegedly. So another thing we do when we watch comedy is we mute ourselves if we have a cat in the background making funky noises, you know, in heat, that kind of stuff. We don't mute ourselves so that we don't listen and laugh. Our comics need to know that you think we're funny. So keep your mic on if there's no background noise, and laugh. Laughter heals, you guys. Am I right, everybody? Laughter heals. So again, share this. This is a military show by military people for military people. Share it. Share it with anybody and tell them to share it with military people. So any questions so far? Just what you want to do. Ask a question, get an answer a week later in the chat. So let me go into my comedy. I'm Linda Marcus Smith. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. And if you had lived in thank you, David. If you had lived in Portland, Oregon, you would know that was the premise and the punchline. I'm a boomer from Portland. That's another joke. It's awful being a boomer in Portland doing comedy. I'm telling you. No, but do you know the first 6 years of my comedy, when I went on stage, all the comics left for a smoke break? It was magic. You ever want to get rid of comics? Just be a boomer in Portland and get up there and go, in my day, they'll all split. Yeah, I grew up in Portland, Oregon in the 50s, a long time ago. It was so quiet there. I used to have to take a really slow trolley, that's an old train, all the way downtown to shop really fast. No, shoplift, that's what it was. Have you ever been so good at something you had to quit? Yeah, you don't see that during the Olympics. Yeah, you had to come here to hear that. Yeah, I almost caused a 5 and dime store to turn into a non-profit single-handedly. I still have lipstick from that era. But I rehabilitated my stealing, and I went back to that one store and I confessed my sins to them and asked them what I could do to make it up. They were very clear, just don't come back. Yeah, that was Fred Meyer stores in Portland. I'm still not welcome there. I don't blame them. You know, so I gave up shoplifting, but believe it or not, I look so innocent, don't I? dimples and everything. I'm not innocent, you guys. In the 1970s, I was a wanted woman and I found it out at the post office. Awkward. You don't want to find out you're wanted there and be on a poster. Fortunately for me, I was wanted, but not on a poster. But he was staring at me and his eyes followed me everywhere. And he said he wanted me, he was pointing at me. It was Uncle Sam, you guys. Yeah, and I'm a boomer. We didn't say no to men for nothing. So I joined the army. I'm a half Jewish person from Portland, Oregon. That's another setup and punchline. And they take my happy little arse and send me to smack dab the middle of Deutschland. They should have checked my record. That's all I'm saying. There I was, right after Kennedy said, "Ich bin ein Berliner." I went in and said, "Ich bin ein Jewish person," and that's not what you want to do there. If you guys served in the military, like Liz and Dave, they really served, you guys. They have battled it out for years. I went in for this long, 3 years, got pregnant. In my day, if you got pregnant, you could get out. And I was thinking I should have had my husband get out before I got pregnant, but no, I wasn't that smart. Anyway, you could get out an honorable discharge. And so I got out 3 months early. But when I was in the military in Germany, I have to tell you what my MOS was. Have you ever heard of YITA? YITA? Haven't. It's yodeling in the Alps. All I did is I was a tourist. I was an undercover Jewish person in Germany. My parents survived the Holocaust, and I'm in Germany. What in the world? Kind of crazy, but cocked the thing they did to me. And I never got injured in Germany in the military. Almost one day, my lieutenant was cleaning his weapon right next to me. He didn't know he had a round in the chamber. It almost hit me. But as the saying goes, I dodged that bullet. And then I get to America, get hit by a drunk driver in 96. No. Yeah, I had to come back to America to get screwed. But I survived, you know. And people say, you know, were you injured in the military? No, but I went to the dentist at the VA hospital and had my teeth all pulled. And when they did, some metal amalgam went into my gum. And now I have metal in my mouth. It's like shrapnel. And there's no award for that. You can't get a Blue Cross. You can't get any, whatever it is, medals. I wouldn't know. I was yodeling in the Alps. Yeah, so here I am in America, and I decided to do comedy because, heck, my life's a joke, really. Anytime the going got tough, this little lady got going. I did. I grew up in Portland. It got tough. It got too weird for me in Portland. They say in Portland, keep it weird. You know, they're always fighting with Austin, Texas to be the weirdest. It got too weird for me, so I got going. Took off to New York to do comedy. I took off to California to do comedy. I'm in Vegas doing comedy. Every time life gets rough, if you see me moving, you just know life got rough. That's the deal. You guys are an awesome group. Thanks for watching this video. And I would like to turn this amazing fun show over to my co-host with the most, Liz Frizius. Yay! Take it away.
Keep it going for your host, Linda Marcus Smith.
Woo!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am Liz Frizius, and I'm an anchor baby, better known as a Navy brat. Just so everybody understands, and most military people know this full well, brat is a term of honor, officially defined as the legitimate offspring of military personnel, thought to be precocious, ubiquitous, underfoot, and insubordinate. Most regular civilian kids, they come with a hometown. When I was born, I came with a map, a compass, and a personalized game to Where's Waldo. I went to 6 different schools before first grade. My teachers couldn't figure out why I was reciting the French alphabet with a Texas accent. Kindergarten graduation, I was voted most likely to be the new kid. Children's television, most people get to watch Sesame Street. I got the nightmare on Sesame Street. My parents mainstreamed me in school. So it didn't matter what country we were in, get circled by a bunch of kids on the playground. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. You guys get to go to high school reunions. For any military brat out there, we pay $8,000 to go to every single high school that we went to before we graduated. 18 years of that, I turned around and joined the Air Force. Total sense. Yeah, I'm actually a graduate of the Air Force Academy. Well, okay, full disclosure, I grew up in the Navy. I trained with the Army and Army ROTC, and then I ended up going to the Air Force Academy. It's a weird place because not only is it a military installation and a university, it's also a tourist trap. We call it the Blue Zoo. Didn't realize how serious that was until our general officers hung up signs that said, "Please don't feed the cadets." They parade all of 4,000 of us in front of the chapel wall in front of all of the tourists every day. You know, it's a 3-ring circus. At the end of it, 4 years of all that, and you graduate with a degree in how to kill people and break things. Who knew my first supervisor came with a black cloak and a sickle? Worst thing about being in the military, I absolutely love being military, but the worst thing is trying to explain an MOS, an AFSC, or just a military job to civilian family members. I go back home with my husband, who is, my in-laws. Here's Aunt Barbie, 3 sheets to the wind enlisting. Liz, I haven't seen you and Richard in so long. What are you keeping yourself? We're both in the Air Force. He's flying tankers. What's that? It means he refuels other aircraft. Oh, so he's a gas station attendant, is he? My Jimmy was just made night manager at Circle K. Richard needs to quit being a bum and go into management. You got any kids? No, I'm a squadron commander. I've got troops, and they wreck the cars and knock up their girlfriends the same as any teenager. Well, my Jimmy just had his 6th.
Oh.
This guy's a total deadbeat. He's got 5 girlfriends. He doesn't pay child support for any of them. Well, yeah, it's a biblical thing. How do you figure? Well, the Bible says be fruitful and multiply. It doesn't say anything about paying child support. Worst thing about it, my husband's cousin is such a deadbeat, he wouldn't even take his older kid to job day at school. He's on my husband instead. So little Jimmy Jr. goes running in, teacher, my cousin Richard is here. And what does Richard do for a living? He passes gas. Tanker pilot, #1 job among first grade boys. Yeah, I love being in the military, but like an idiot last year, I got out. Let's talk poor judgment here for just a moment. It's not in the middle of a pandemic. See, the worst thing about it, when I was in, I've survived SARS, MERS, H1N1, AIDS, Ebola, terrorist attacks, and warfare. And the government got worried about my safety with COVID. All this thing needs is a press agent and a publicist. I mean, go out to the William Morris Agency. COVID, the problem we got with you, you're not cute. You got all these spikes and shit. Punk went out in the 80s. You're a bad dude. You killed some people. That's why I want you thinking like Snoop Dogg. You know Snoop Dogg, right, ma'am? Yeah, I'm talking Snoop Dogg. He got brought up on that Moiter app. We took care of that little thing. Now he's selling cereal. That's what I want you thinking. I want you thinking crunch. 8 vitamins and minerals, my grandson. I love you. After that, we're going to go for a jingle. You know a jingle, right, sir? I'm talking a jingle. And we got the ultimate jingle. You know, COVID, COVID, pop it, banana, fana, pop it, me, my, move it, COVID. Gotten the ladies. Because for the ladies, we have an extra special earworm. You know an earworm, right, ma'am? I'm talking, it's a small germ after all. It's a small germ after all. Everybody sing. It's a small germ after all. It's a small, small germ. See, here's the worst part about it. In the military, we're taught how to range things. We know what distances are. Civilian gentlemen, you need to quit telling people that this is 6 inches. I'm 18 feet away in outdoor Arizona, and this lady looks up and says, "Excuse me, miss, you need to socially distance." Houston, we have a Karen. I said, "Lady, been there, had that, got the T-cells. You think this is a game?" Well, the plague got ring around the rosy, so why not? You know, this is the way we catch COVID until someone goes down. Boom. It's a damn sight safer than the dodgeball I played as a kid. Could you imagine little first grade girls out there with their little hair bows? You know, cute little hair bows out there jumping around. 2 little microbes sitting in a tree. KISSING. First comes SARS, then comes mono, then comes COVID as the new paisano. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, it is an absolute delight to be able to do comedy now. And the whole way I ended up in it, the biggest laugh to this day, I was in the Pentagon doing TAP, Transition Assistance Program, getting ready to get out. And they're going around the class, and one of the guys says, "Yeah, I'm going to be a pilot." And the next person says, "I'm going to be an information manager." I said I was going to be a stand-up comic. To this day, the biggest scream of laughter I've ever gotten was in the middle of the Pentagon. Most kids who do comedy are half my age. They worry about disappointing their parents. I got to disappoint the entire Department of Defense. The poor career manager sits down, looks at me, says, "Well, Liz, what are you good at?" I said, "Killing and bombing." He said, "Stand-up comedy?" I said, "Sign me up." But yeah, being able to do comedy is an absolute delight. We are thrilled to be partnered with the Governor's Comedy Club. They are our unpaid sponsor here at Veterans for Comedy. We absolutely love their support. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. But with that, we have a special treat for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, our headliner for today, he's a comic in Washington, D.C. He started out as a Navy reservist. He went in as an Army Guardsman. He is now flying for the Air Force Reserve as a flight medic. Put your hands together for our headliner, Dave McCowan.
Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. I would say give a big hand for all the comics you've seen, but we can't hear you. So do it anyway. We're just going to assume that you think we're awesome, because that's how this works. I'm jealous of Linda. If I had known, I'm a sucker for a good yodel. If I had known that was an option, I might not be a flight medic. Falconer. Do you remember Falconer back in the day? That was an Air Force. That was your job. I missed that one. I think you can play with dolphins in the Navy still. Liz mentioned the top job for 1-year-olds is passing gas. The top job for teenagers, boom operator. It never gets old. Top job for boom operators too. They love that joke. I have served in 3 branches of the military, which I don't know if you know. It's a lot. That's too many. Here's the good news. I've got my rewards card. If I join the Marines, I get the Coast Guard for free. Yeah. how did it happen? Why I joined the Navy. I was a jet engine mechanic for 10 wonderful years. I got out, decided I was going to follow my dream to be a flight medic in the Army. Joined the Army National Guard. Spent a year as a jet engine mechanic. Got out. Went to my Air Force recruiter. I said, "Listen, don't mess with me. I want to be a flight medic." And he said, I'll never forget. He said, "Show me on the doll where the Army hurt you," which I did. I was mostly the knees. So I've served everywhere. I'm not joining the Marines. I'm not. Technically, I'm too old, but let's be honest. I'm not gung ho enough to be a Marine. Listen, don't get the wrong idea. I'm an adequate amount of gung, but it's just not in the cards. There is one thing I am jealous about aside from the uniforms. I'm jealous. The Marines love their birthday. Marines love their birthday more than little children love their birthday. Which is, you guys don't even get like a magician or a pony or anything. Cute. You do get cake. That's good. It's the one time a year you're allowed sugar, because otherwise you get rambunctious. I get it. I'm spent the last 16 years as a flight medic in the Air Force Reserve, and being a medic in the military is weird. It's strange because you go to train as a medical person, and the first thing they teach you is the Hippocratic Oath. It's first, do no harm. And then you join the military, and their motto is kind of like, first, do harm. Like harm professionally. So as a military medic, a lot of times I kind of feel like the salad at a Wendy's. Like, who am I for? I don't match the vibe at all. I do like a lot of veterans. I do have some PTSD. It's not the serious kind where you kind of wake up naked on the New Jersey Turnpike screaming. I just every now and then I just get super sad and cry uncontrollably for just no reason. Just weep at a SpongeBob cartoon. So they don't really show that one on TV. There's no VA disability rating for that kind of PTSD. You don't get a check. You just get invited to fewer kids parties. I've been trying to keep busy in quarantine. I have hobbies. I don't know if you guys are still doing your quarantine hobbies. I started off learning to play the ukulele, which that's not a survival skill. If you look at a ukulele and think I should learn how to play that, things are going pretty well. That was early quarantine when I had what's the word? Hope. Remember that? Like some circa 2015. Well, humanity's flawed, but we're capable of great things. Fast forward to 2020, like, I don't think most of you were smart enough to operate a Pop-Tart. With that in mind, my quarantine hobby for the last year or so is I've been befriending crows. Did he say befriending crows? I did say those words in that order. And that's some apocalypse stuff, right? I'm basically training a flying army of intelligent minions to do my bidding for kibble. Something's gone wrong. What else? I did some travel recently, which that's weird in quarantine. I had to go out to North Dakota. My son's in school there. And I flew out, which I love flying. I know that's a weird flex. But that is my fault. It's my fault. My standards are too low because I do fly quite a few hours in the Air Force, and I've flown quite a bit where people were literally trying to murder me. Like Afghanistan and Newark. So, if I'm on a flight with you and you're like, oh, this flight's been delayed a half an hour and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. This is the worst flight ever. You're like, maybe. I once flew 18 hours over the Hindu Kush with a plane full of wounded people while angry guys in robes shot RPGs at us. I think maybe we just have different travel agents. Should probably use yours. Yours sounds way better. There is one part of flying that bugs me, and that's those dumb like cabin announcements that they make while you're just trying to get comfy and like listen to your book or your pod or whatever, and they just keep interrupting you. Welcome aboard Flight 417. Your cabin team today is Susie, Doug, and Judy. I don't need to know your names. I think you understand that our friendship is very temporary. Have you ever had someone you don't know call you by your first name? It's creepy. It's creepy. So I'd rather not. If we have to have them, can they at least be honest? Like, welcome aboard Flight 417. The people putting up with you today are Susie, Doug, and Judy. Susie's brand new. She's 20, a former model, and she's already engaged to one of our pilots. She's sweet, and she sure does try hard, but she is occasionally startled by her own tits. Doug just broke up with his longtime boyfriend, so he's going to spend the flight hiding in the back, scrolling through old Instagram photos and crying into a Sky Mall magazine. So if y'all could just take your peanuts and shut up, that'd be great. My name's Judy. I'm your senior flight attendant today. I've been doing this job for 23 years, and I swear to God, I am just one Hey Sweet Cheeks ass pat away from opening this door mid-flight and killing us all. That's relevant information. I'll take that. I drove back, and at the end of a long day of driving, I pulled off the exit to my hotel, and off in the distance, I could see a giant red neon sign that said, "The Charcoal Pit." And I thought, yeah, perfect. As I pulled into the parking lot, I noticed that below that, there were two smaller lit up signs. And the first one said, "Steaks." Well, this is going exactly the way I hoped it would. But the one below that said, "Ice Cream Creations." Whoa, curveball. Charcoal hot, ice cream cold, usually handled by two separate venues. Not at the Charcoal Pit. No, I'm excited. Now I'm really excited. Walking to the door, just in giddy anticipation of what's about to happen to my mouth hole. And there's a third sign. Now, I have to say, this was not a handwritten sign. This was not a sign hastily printed from a computer with some whimsical clip art. This was a neon sign, implying premeditation. And in the middle of that sign was a bowl. And around that bowl were two words and an exclamation point. And those words were, "Soup's on!" What is happening? These people are all over the place. Have I stumbled into a restaurant for people with ADHD? Steaks, ice cream, soup. I never did find out why they had such an eclectic menu. But this is how I like to think that it happened. Good afternoon, Mr. Nelson. I see you have our loan application. My partner and I would like to open a restaurant called the Charcoal Pit. Will you serve steaks? Yeah, that's kind of where we were going. And ice cream? I mean, we'll have dessert. Ice cream creations? Is that absolutely necessary for the loan? Yes. Yeah, we can. Okay. Excellent. Now for the third thing. Let's spin the wheel of menu. Thank you all so much for being here. My name's Dave McOwen.
Yay.
Did want to mention I do work with a veterans charity based in DC called the Armed Services Arts Partnership. It's asap.org. We offer free training in the arts to veterans, service members, their families, and caregivers. We're based in DC, Hampton Roads, Virginia, Indianapolis, San Diego, and we have virtual classes all over. So if you're interested in stand-up comedy, improv, writing, storytelling, fine arts, please visit the website asap.org and sign up for some free classes.
Wow.
Thanks so much, Linda and Liz.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going for our headliner, Dave McOwen. And now, welcome back to the stage, our host, Linda Marcus Smith.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Two of the best comics I could ever imagine. What great sets you both had. Liz Fresius and Dave McOwen. Is that how I'm supposed to pronounce it, Dave?
That's clear. I'll answer to anything.
What's the correct way, Dave?
McOwen.
McOwen. Okay. So before I go into closing out, I would like Liz and Dave for you both to tell people where to follow you and where you'll be performing in the next month. Could you do that, please? Liz, you're first.
Okay. Liz Fresius on Facebook at lizfresius.com, on PayPal at Liz Fresius, and website liz-fresius.com.
Okay, and upcoming shows, Liz?
Upcoming shows, I will be on This Just In News on the 7th on Zoom. And then I will be back at JP's Comedy Club on all sorts of different days coming up over the month of August.
Wonderful. And JP's Comedy Club is in what city?
JP's Comedy Club is in Gilbert, Arizona. You can see everybody out there from improv to stand-up. They do an open mic night on Thursdays. He is a Navy veteran who now runs the comedy club. He is also a veteran of the Chicago Police Force, and he is a huge supporter of the veteran community.
Wonderful. Thank you, Liz Fresius. And now, Dave McOwen, tell us where you are found on the internet, what you want to plug, and what shows you're going to be in.
Thank you, Linda. I am Dave McOwen Comedy on Facebook, davemcOwenComedy.com, all one word on the interwebs. You can see me on Sunday, on tomorrow, if you're in the DC area. I'm doing a show for ASAP in Logan Circle. It's a beautiful outdoor show that we do. You can find that information. And then most Fridays this summer, I'm going to be at the Capitol Cider House Friday nights, and at the Silver Branch Brewing Company in Silver Spring, Maryland on Sunday nights. You can find me there.
Wonderful. Wonderful sets. This is so great. Oh my gosh. So I'm Linda Marcus Smith, your co-host here with Liz, and I'm going to be performing. I'll go into the performing first because I have a brain injury. I'll be performing at the Flappers Burbank Comedy Festival on Zoom. Thank you. On the 8th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets at Flappers Comedy Club. Also, I'll be there live August 17th and 18th, so you can get tickets for that. Hit me up on Facebook, Linda Marcus Smith. And if you guys haven't gone to my YouTube and seen 695 interviews, 200 are still uploading. But if you haven't seen all of those minus 200, get on over to YouTube, and it's comedian Linda Marcus Smith. And you can see Sinbad. Tommy Chong's not on there for legal reasons. I don't know. And so, but there's a ton of people you can get to know and laugh, and a lot of them are military veterans. So I'd love to have some more subscribers. Every Saturday we're going to be here. This is going to grow. We need your help. Governor's Comedy Club is pro-military, pro-veterans in Long Island, New York. Thank you for being a sponsor behind us, allowing us to use your name, because that'll bring paid sponsors. So Don Sill, thank you so much for that. Please share this with anybody you know who's sad, triggered, has more PTSD than Dave. PTSD. Nobody has more PTSD than I do. you know, and I know when to use it when I get pulled over by the police. Fortunately, here in Vegas, most of the police are also military veterans, so they don't argue with me. They're like, yeah, I think you're probably crazy. So anyway, thank you so very, very, very much from the bottom of my heart, you guys. We had a guy come on named Daryl something or other, and I'll go back to the feed and get a hold of him. And anything you want to say, Dave? Anything, Liz, you want to say?
Thank you so much for having us here today.
Let's do it every Saturday, and let's not hog this information. Let's share. Let all the comics come on. I don't care if I'm on here all day and Liz says, "You're on your own, Linda. You're crazier than I thought." No, I don't want to lose you, but you know, at some point we're going to get more comics. I can feel it. Okay, well, Liz Freesius, check her out on Facebook and on Instagram. And do you have your comedy online if people want to see it and book you?
Go to my homepage at liz-freesius.com.
Perfect. And Dave?
Yep, same.
Same. Okay, perfect. And say the name of your website one more time, Dave.
It's Dave McOwen Comedy, MCOWEN.com.
Perfect. Thanks, you guys. I'm missing you already.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.